Hello, and welcome back to HunterTuned. Thanks for all the recommendations on the last video, guys, for all the, content ideas. And we are definitely brainstorming some things for, upcoming projects and stuff like that for the channel. And yes, the purple car will be done hopefully within the next week or two. And I actually just ordered pretty much all the stuff that I need to get the purple car done. I had a weird situation going on with the pistons. I was going to run a certain set of pistons, and then I found out I didn't really want to run those pistons, and then I got another set of pistons that weren't any better than the other pistons that I had, so I just ordered a different set of pistons for the car that are on their way, and it'll be a fun little experiment to really kind of push the limits of a cast piston. That's the goal with the purple car, is we're going to run as much power as we can on a cast piston. As you guys know, we went 10s in the quarter mile with a B20 with cast pistons in it, and the B20 was limited because the sleeves kept cracking. We went through a couple blocks, and that motor had cast pistons in it, and the cast pistons are still running to this day in a different block. So I really want to push the envelope with a set of cast pistons on a block that won't crack the sleeves. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run an LS block this time with another set of cast pistons. I ordered the Nippon Racing pistons. I did want to run the YCP ones, but they don't sell them separately from the rods. So I was just going to run their high compression Nippon pistons we're going to try out. But I did want to show you guys quick the problems we were having and the issues that I was facing and why the purple car has been taking so long to get finished. Alright guys, so if you guys know, I have a B18 LS block, a B16 cylinder head that I'm waiting on getting the valves lapped at the machine shop, which honestly should be done here really soon. Honestly, if I went up there and bugged them, they'd probably be done already. So these are, I'm going to show you guys the pistons and rods that I do have for the car and why I'm not going to run the ones that I have. Alrighty guys, so this is the situation that we currently have at hand. I have 3 Eagle rods here. I had 4, but if you guys have been following for a while, you know that I chewed up one of the bushings on the rod for the wrist pin. And the reason that got chewed up is because this pin was like ground down when I installed it. So I don't want to rerun this pin, because if I run this pin that's got all these freaking markings in it, it's just going to do the same thing to the connecting rod, and it's going to take out the bushing again. So I don't want to run this wrist pin. So I would need to get a new rod or new bushing, whatever. Bushings are super hard to source. Can't really find them, and so need to get a new bushing and a new pin. So try to find one of these CP pins is actually really difficult to find. They're not just like some off-the-shelf thing that you can buy. So I would just get like the upgraded pins, but the pistons that are for these pins are shorter. So like CP pistons, I don't know if they're just shorter pin or what, but another problem is they're short, for one, and 2, they're really thin. So these pins are really thin compared to like a normal wrist pin, which is a lot thicker. So these pistons were really just meant for like an all-motor setup. So the pins aren't as strong. They're all meant for lightweight. They're designed to be lightweight. So like the construction of the piston is just lighter. It's just not like a full skirt piston, as you guys can see here. It's just, a lot of weight savings on this because it's meant for an all-motor setup. So I'm pretty much just scrapping the idea of running these old CP pistons. I did run these on a turbo motor. It ran fine. There was no issues, but I just don't think it'd be a good idea to run these, and it'd be a hassle, and I'd probably end up spending $200 frickin' by the time I found a pin, or if I had to find 4 pins that were like a little bit better designed pin for boost. Just a headache. So anyways, my homie Omar, the guy that I've been helping out with his hatch for a while, actually as partial payment or whatever for working on his car, he actually gave me a set of Eagle rods and pistons. So these pistons are JE, I believe. These are JE low compression, like 9-to-1 pistons. And they look like they were working well in the car. But these pistons, as you guys can see here, had gotten chewed up from a valve. And I would totally run these, because the ringland on the top is not completely broken, but there is like one of the pistons here that is really close to the ringland, and it's really close to breaking completely. So I'm sure once we put some power to that, that's just gonna break all the way, and then we're gonna be in the same situation. So even though these are forged pistons, I don't think that they're going to be as strong as a new Nippon piston. So yeah, he's making fun of how I said Nippon, whatever. So yeah, I might still try to source a pin or something for these CP pistons. If anybody has a set of wrist pins that they want to send in or sell to me for cheap, I will gladly buy them so we can run those pistons. But like I said, I think it'd be really cool to kind of push the envelope on a set of cast pistons, because I think, in theory, I think those cast pistons will make 650, 700 horsepower, and that's kind of the limit of the stock transmission. So I won't buy a dog box unless I'm like a millionaire.
Right, and as you know from experience,
what's that?
The trannies they won't hold 800.
Right, they don't hold 800 horsepower, plain and simple. So I think, why put a forged piston in if you're running a stock transmission?
Right.
That's maybe what I'm thinking. So we're gonna run the Nippon. We'll push it as far as we can, and actually push it, because I feel like I'm going to buy a twin disc for the car. I still don't have a twin disc. I have some cash for a twin disc, but I don't know what twin disc I want to go with. I'm leaning towards going with an Action twin because they kind of want to help me out a little bit. It's kind of the cheapest option on the table right now. Have seen, you know, Humble Performance and SP Tuning and stuff like that. They all ran the Action twin disc and they seem to be working. So I might try it out. I might not. We'll see. Otherwise, I might buy a new comp twin disc. I'm just really scared to spend this much money on a twin disc for it to, you know, not work right or have disengaging issues or something like that. I would just hate to spend the money for it just not to work. So that's why I'm kind of like on the fence on what twin disc I want to get. I don't want to buy like a Clutch Masters like Brent recommends, because they're like $1,600, which is worth more than the whole fucking car. I'm not doing that. And at the end of the day, it's a fucking Honda. It's going to break. Anyways, so to the scooter here. Now you guys got a little update on the purple car. We're just waiting on parts. I got like a bunch of stuff coming for it. So hopefully in the next week, we will be getting all those parts and assembling the motor and then putting it all in the car. I just got to figure out, like I said, what fucking clutch I want to get. And yeah, so scooter time. Scooter, I might tear into this and throw the other cam back in it, because this cam is the high performance big bore cam they gave me, but I put the cam in the old cylinder head, and it almost seems like the bike has valve float or something going on, or it's just super fucking lean. I don't know, but it definitely has like good grunt off the line. But as soon as you like, you know, get into the pipe a little bit, you know, get her up on the chip, it's like slower than before. So the big bore should definitely make more power, but I have a variable of the cam. So I think I'm going to put the other cam back in the old head, because I have to get a valve cover for the new head, because it's a non-EGR head, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll know if the cam is causing issues. So I think the other cam will, you know, the old cam should fucking make the same or more power than before, because we have the bigger displacement. And like I said, guys, thank you for all the video ideas. Some of them, like all-wheel drive Honda and K-Series stuff, is out of the question unless I buy an RSX. But I do not plan on all-wheel driving a Honda anytime soon. Front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive for life.
Minus the CRV.
Yeah, the CRV is an all-wheel drive car, actually. So, yeah, we will be having an all-wheel drive car. And I will be turboing the CRV, but that will be to come. It's not like we're going to actually take the CRV to the track. So once the track... like we only got another month or two of racing, so after all that, I'm sure we will turbo the CRV and just go hoon it, go Froden, and go winter bombing with it. But like I said, I do want to get some like new projects on the channel, and like I said, thank you for all the video ideas. One of the ideas was to get a Miata, and I would totally buy a Miata and put an LS in it, but it sucks because around here, Miatas are super overpriced and super rotted if they're not overpriced. Like, so rotted to where you step on the floor and you'll go through it. Like, they're all shot up here, or if they're not, they're like $4,000.
I saw that, and I was like, Miata is totally my realm.
Yeah.
It's been my car.
Yeah.
Right? So mine, for the past 4 years, was Miatas and Civics.
Yeah.
And my buddy Devlin had a Miata. I changed the water pump on it and got to swerve it for like a week.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I was like, that's totally my thing.
Yeah.
But exactly, they're either rotted to shit,
Yep.
or they're like $8,000.
Yeah, and if they're not rotted, they're still like $2,500.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm
Right.
sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm a very economical car builder, and a Miata's, technically an economical car and cheap to get into and stuff like that, but it's not as cheap as other shit. Like, you can have just as much fun in something else for cheaper.
They definitely hit the drift tax.
Yeah, the drift tax is real. Fuck you, YouTube. But some other things that I was thinking on the channel, like I said, is because drag racing is going to be coming to an end. I say that because it's like cold today. It's like 65 degrees out, and I'm like sort of depressed because I feel like winter's coming, and
Right.
I'm just like all in a mood today, just like looking outside. But realistically, we have like 2 months left of drag racing, at least a solid month. But after that, I want to get into like some power sports stuff because I really enjoy, even though some of you guys may think the scooter is fucking Jeff Gordon mobile right here. But anyways, I do enjoy working on small engine stuff. It is a really good stress reliever for me, and Crazy Bubba is telling me it's my vacation. So he's a commenter down in the shit talker box down there, and he's saying like, hey, it's a good vacation for you, and it is, because I really enjoy just kind of tinkering with this, and it's just like, no stress, and you can have a lot of fun with them. So I was thinking about picking up a snowmobile. A lot of you motherfuckers don't know what a snowmobile is.
Because you don't have that white stuff that falls.
Because you don't have that white stuff that falls on the ground. But I was thinking about maybe picking up a snowmobile and doing snowmobile drag racing this winter. Because there's a couple local races on the lake that we live on, like down in Fond du Lac, there's a couple of them. There's radar runs all the time, and I feel like it'd be really cool to build a fast snowmobile.
Oh, I agree.
Like, I don't know, something that does 100 mile an hour or more. So snowmobile, maybe a four-wheeler or a dirt bike or something, stud it up and go rip around on the lake. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So that's what I have planned right now, and I feel like I almost want to buy one now or close to now, because as soon as it gets colder out, the prices go way up, because obviously everybody procrastinates and they wait till the last minute to buy their snowmobile until it's fucking 2 feet of snow on the ground. Then everybody gets top fucking dollar for their snowmobile because everybody wants to ride one.
That's when I sold mine.
So it's actually best in Wisconsin to buy a snowmobile in the spring because they're dumb cheap, but you have to sit on it for like 6 fucking months, 8 months before you can ride it. That's the only thing that sucks. But like I said, it's still summer technically, so they still might be a couple good deals out there. We might try to find something, and at the fucking shop, dude.
Oh,
you can literally leave the shop and go ride wherever the fuck you want.
There's trails all over.
There's trails all over out by our shop, so that's another reason why I kind of want to get a snowmobile. So maybe I'll get 2 of them so we can all ride together, or if I have Christine with me or Christian or something, we can go for a rip.
Yeah, I was actually, if and when I sell my car, I was just gonna buy like a $200 cheap, just dumb cheap.
Yeah, yep. Just so we have something to do over the winter, because winter is kind of harsh in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But we'll be all right.
Yeah. Last winter was -50 for like.
Yeah, I did a video. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So we are at the shop now. Quick little update on some stuff that's going on out here. I'm still working on the H22 H2B car. This thing is making some headway finally. We have the timing belt sorted out, obviously. We figured that out. And been tuning this thing a little bit, and I noticed that I was going to install his wideband that he has in the car. But turns out that his sensor actually is bad. So I'm just using my wideband for the time being to get the car tuned. And then he's going to have to source a sensor and install the wideband. But like I said, if it's just a pump gas all motor setup, the wideband really is just used for tuning. And then thereon after, it should be okay without even having the wideband hooked up. But anyway, so yeah, I got my wideband installed, and we have started tuning on the car a little bit. And had a couple engine lights at first. We had to go into the S300 and disable the idle air control valve because he has a block-off plate on it currently. And it had an O2 sensor code, so we had to disable the O2 heater. And yeah, so anyways, got the car tuned up, got it running, and had some really high idle issues. So this car had a high idle right when it came in, and the throttle body had a thermal gasket on it that wasn't covering the whole throttle body, and this throttle body has a fast idle valve on it. And I actually just told the guy, I said, hey man, we should try to just source a throttle body without the fast idle. That way we can use the gasket that he had, and hopefully all will be good, because I just put some RTV on the throttle body here just to kind of see if I could get it to seal up temporarily and see if the idle would come down, and it still idles at like 1500 and does idle surge when it's warm. So I spray brake cleaner around where the fast idle is, and the fast idle is all the way turned in right now. I can't turn it in any farther. I spray brake cleaner right by the fast idle, and the idle comes down. So it does have a leak at the fast idle valve. I think it would just be easier to throw a different throttle body on it. Probably would be best to do that. But we also, I did tune the car, just kind of pulled a bunch of timing out at idle, and I got it to idle decent at like 1,000, but it's just kind of a band-aid for a mechanical issue. So I would like to actually get it sorted properly, but yeah, so anyways, did take the car just out on the road just to make sure that the car was driving okay and stuff like that, because he wanted me to verify that. And I just went through all the bolts on the car, did a bolt check on everything, you know, lug nuts, frickin' suspension components, all that stuff. So all the bolts on the car are tight now. Yeah, and like I said, I took it for a drive. The car drives pretty well. Brakes are just a hair soft, nothing crazy, nothing really to even worry about. I feel like I would run it like this. Yeah, so I also hooked up the exhaust. So the exhaust, when he brought it in, was not connected, so the header was disconnected from the catback. So I got some hardware and a brand new donut gasket, and I hooked up the exhaust on the car. It sounds awesome. I'll give you guys a quick startup of this thing and show you how it sounds. So I have the car idling pretty good right now, but like I said, it's kind of band-aided with the tune. I just pulled a bunch of timing out at idle to get it to idle at like 1,000. So, but anyways, the motor sounds really good. Another issue that I had with the car on the short drive that I took with it is the plug wire. This plug wire right here popped off the distributor cap. So I'm gonna have to go through all the wires and crimp the ends a little bit more with the pliers to get the wires to stay onto the cap a little bit better. But the timing belt looks awesome. There's no belt walk. It's riding right on the cams where it should. So that is awesome. That's a big headache off my back, because we were messing with that for a couple days, just trying to figure out what the issue was with the timing belt, and it was that stupid bushing in the tensioner. So, but anyways, this thing's rowdy. It should make a good amount of horsepower. I would assume this car would make around 200 wheel on pump gas. That's what we're going to shoot for. It's got a really nice 4-to-1 header, and just a really good catback. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rev. Certified ripper pretty soon. Just been really busy with the website and stuff. Haven't had a whole lot of time to work on this thing, but the guy's super cool. Very good customer. He's a very good customer. He's not super pushy and stuff like that, so it keeps a lot of the stress and workload off of me, because half the time if I'm working on something and somebody's in a rush, like if I you know, get a car in and needs to be done like same day or next day and it has a crap ton of issues, you know, you're just not going to get as good a quality work as if I work on it on my own time. Not on my own time, but like, you know, work on it when I don't have 1,000 other things to be doing. It's just, you know, better product in the end. So we're just nitpicking away on this thing. I might get a throttle body for it. Like I said, I'm going to wait on what he says, and then I might redo his throttle cable bracket as well, because this throttle cable bracket, the pedal just kind of feels like shit. Like it's got some dead play, and it just doesn't feel how it should. So might have to do the throttle cable bracket, some other really small things, and he should be picking it up. So hopefully by the end of the weekend here, we'll have this thing done, tuned up, dynoed, everything. So super excited. This thing's got some good grunt. It should be a really fun street car, really fun all motor setup. In other news, we did get the Mustang suspension on, so we do have the Eibach drag springs installed now with the Viking shocks, obviously the anti-roll bar in the rear. I took out the stock coil springs in the rear that had one coil cut, and I put the Eibach drag springs in. So me and Christian did that yesterday. Can't thank Christian enough for the help, because I can't really do the suspension stuff by myself, so it's nice to have him helping around. But anyway, so this front suspension was a pain in the ass. We bought a spring compressor from O'Reilly's, and or rented one, whatever, and we compressed the spring literally all the way till it like bottomed out, and it still wouldn't fit in the space that we had. So what I did is I actually just cut like 3/4 of a coil off of the springs in the front and threw those in, and they fit perfect once I did that. So Fox body front suspension, if you're using like a stock length spring, no fun. Holy shit, did that suck. So anyways, but we got it all buttoned up. The brake pads on this thing are like brand new yet. I can't believe it, for all the freaking 140 mile an hour passes I've done jamming on the brakes. The brake pads look fucking great yet. Also did throw a set of Lakewood 7030 front shocks in it, which are a little bit longer of a shock, so I should have a little bit more travel in the suspension, which should allow the car to have more transfer on the line. So anyways, Mustang is doing good. I'm just going to get the tire pressures all checked here, make sure the front tires are around 40 to 45. That's what I usually run on the front, and then, you know, around 15 or so in the back. And then when we get to the track tomorrow, I'll dial in the pressures again. But yeah, so we're going to be taking the Mustang up to the track tomorrow. There is a test and tune day at Wisconsin International Raceway. If you guys are in the area, you should come on, check it out. Kaukauna, Wisconsin, WIR. See the Mustang in action, and hopefully we can cut some good times with this thing. I do plan on turning the boost up a little bit and running around 25 pounds of boost and seeing if this thing lives. I'm going to kind of creep up into the tune-up, and hopefully all is well and it holds together. So yeah, anyways guys, thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, drop a comment down below what you guys thought, and we'll see you later. See you in the next one. Another thing is the scooter is running good. I can't believe it hasn't died yet. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna get the Mustang loaded on the trailer and head home for the night. But yeah, thanks for watching the video guys. Purple car coming soon. Have a great night and a better tomorrow.